What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Dasin model Yu Yu Hakusho Kurama, not to be confused with Kurama from Naruto, or if you know him by his alias, Suichi Manamino. Let's go ahead and dive right into it, starting off with that sexy packaging. Now, you don't really get a whole lot going on with the packaging. You got a small window right here where you can see the figure. Not really any accessories except a faceplate you can see right there. It does say Kurama right there, or Kurama, however you want to say it. You got some yellow right here sprinkled in with some white and then some pink. Something right there written in kanji. I don't know what that is. Nothing much going on at the bottom. All the choking hazards and warnings and barcode if you need it. On the sides you get absolutely nothing, and then of course on the back you really don't get anything either. It just says Yu Yu. So anyway, let's go ahead and bust this figure open because I have been excited to get a Kurama figure, and Dasin model finally delivered. First things first, big shout out to Omnime Store for sending me this figure. They got it to me with the quickness. I had been waiting on this order elsewhere, and I don't know what was going on with that, but I just decided to go ahead and purchase it from them, and then they got it to me, I think, within 24 hours. So big shout out to Omnime Store. Once again, guys, if you're not shopping with them, go check them out. I do have a discount code on their website that you guys can utilize. So make sure you go use that. You will get 10% off of anything in the store. I will leave that below for you guys to check out. But anyway, on to this figure, man. If you guys had to question it, my question to you is why? If you like Yu Yu Hakusho, there is no reason to question this figure, because as we all know, One Shot Toys revealed some images for their Kurama not too long ago, and that thing looked pretty bad. But this is beautiful, man. This is... Dasin model always kills it. I'll just keep it like a buck. Dasin model always kills it. I haven't gotten a figure from them that I thought was bad, or really even one that had any like dislikes. I have some issues with this. Actually, right now it's just only one. But overall, man, it's a simple design, of course. You don't have a whole lot going on. It's just a man with spiky red hair, spiky long red hair that looks really good. You can actually undo that. You can make my boy shirtless. Interesting. Wasn't expecting that. But yeah, anyway, yeah, you can get you a shirtless Kurama if you want to. But anyway, all the way down, the tailoring and everything on this outfit is just really nice, man. They did a good job on this. And from what I've seen, it doesn't really hinder the articulation. Of course, I'll show more articulation later on in the video, but this thing looks so nice, man. I really love what they did with this head sculpt. It looks like he walked right out of the anime. And it looks like there's also like a little bit of black shading in the hair. I don't know if I'm tripping. I think it is, but I might be wrong. But still, it has that look of shading, which is a good thing. The only issue I have with this figure right now is that I really wish they could have made the hair two separate pieces, a top piece and then a bottom piece. Because what happens is this long hair, it kind of pulls on the head a little bit, so it makes him look up. Now, you can pull it down, so it's not a problem. But sometimes, like when you're moving it around, that hair will tend to like move the head around. So when you're posing him, you'll just have to readjust it. But overall, I mean, it still looks really good. You'll never get that flush look where it's just up against his back unless you pose him looking up. But that's about the only way you're going to get that look, unfortunately. But overall, man, this thing just looks really dang good. I like this a lot. It also would have been cool if these were articulated, but I mean, that's asking a bit much. So I don't know. I just really like this, man. This is a nice look, and just having a Kurama in my collection just makes me happy, man. So let's go ahead and put this guy back so we can see how tall he stands. Now, if you don't already know, for whatever reason, this is not a 6-inch scale figure. Dasin model stuff is usually 7-inch. So to the top of his head, he stands almost right at 7 inches. And when I say top of the head, I mean the top of the hair. He's a little bit under 6.5 inches to the top of his head, which, I mean, Kurama's a pretty tall character anyway, but it just makes me wonder how tall Kuwabara's going to be, because he's even taller than Kurama. So he's definitely going to be pushing that 7-inch once he comes out. But if you guys want to see how he scales with other figures, I will be showing that off later on in the review. Moving on to the articulation, he looks up about that much, and that's when you get the hair that is touching his back. So it's not going to go any further unless you use like a diaphragm joint. So that's about as much as you can get him looking up. And the reason I wish that these were articulated pieces is so that you could lay them down whenever he is looking up. Unfortunately, you can't do that. But yeah, like I said, that probably would have been asking a bit much. He does get really good tilt and turn. And his head, it doesn't feel loose, but I think it's just the hair. You can pose it, but I don't know. It does have a loose feel to it, but it's not. Like, as you guys can see, it's sitting in its pose. It just feels like it's really loose, but that's not the case. Anyway, the arms go up and out about that much, so T poses are no problem. Punching poses won't be a problem. He does have a butterfly joint, but you kind of got to be careful with it. Remember, when it comes to fabric, you never want to push these further than you need to. But yes, you can bring his hands all the way in. If you want to pose Kurama driving a vehicle for whatever reason, it can be done. Let me move that arm back down. Anyway, he does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow somewhere in here. Once again, be careful. I only know this because I know the Dasin model bodies, but he does have double jointed elbows. Just be really careful. Actually, mine's backwards on this one. See, I was about to break this entirely. I might end up having to take this shirt off, but this arm is backwards. And I'm keeping this all on camera for you guys to see. But it does bend all the way in right there. As far as the hands go, they are on a peg that is very sturdy, so you don't have to worry about that breaking. They do move all the way in. You don't really get any limitations whatsoever. Mine sounds like it's a little stiff too. I might need to hit it with some shock oil, or maybe just put it in some hot water. But anyway, he does lean back about that much. And I'm so glad that they made this shirt removable. I know some people might not like that, but that helps. If you mess up the articulation and you want to know what's going on with the upper body, that's a good idea. So I'm glad that they did that. But anyway, you can move him around at the diaphragm and at the waist. He moves a whole lot at the waist, actually. Man, look at that crunch. That is really freaking good. Yeah, he moves around very, very well. All the way back. My boy can play the game Limbo. I think that's what it's called. I don't remember, man. Whatever. My brain's fried today. But yeah. Anyway, you do get turned completely. He doesn't kick out too much, only about that much. And I wouldn't push it any further just because I don't want to rip the pants. This was the same thing with Yusuke. I wish the fabric was just a little bit thicker so that he could kick further out. But I mean, it's fine. I wouldn't do the splits any more than this. At all. I would not recommend it. You can still get him in some dynamic poses even if you were to do that. I can't show anything off. It's not going to look right with the elbow backwards in here. But you can still get him in some pretty dynamic poses. That doesn't look good. But anyway, yeah. He does have inner thigh swivel. He does have double jointed knees. So you can pose him just fine if you want to get him in a kicking pose. Tilt that head down, boom, there you go. That's about as much as it's going to go. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Really good ankle rocker. No toe hinge, unge. I just made up a word. Unfortunately, we're going to go with that. No toe hinge, unfortunately. So, yeah, overall, articulation-wise, pretty much the standard for Dasin model. Decent. I do wish that we got some toe hinge, but other than that, I really can't complain. He does have good articulation, but obviously the fabric is what's limiting him when it comes to the lower waist and leg area. Something I felt like I should show off just because I want to. Here the body is shirtless, and the reason I'm showing this is because I want to show you guys the extra articulation that you actually get without the fabric. Like, as you can see, you can really bring those arms in no problem. So this guy can get into a ton of poses. You just have to be careful with the fabric on him. But the diaphragm joints and everything are all effective, as you guys can see. Like, this figure genuinely can pose. You just have to be careful with it and take your time so that it doesn't break. Now moving on to the accessories, he does come with quite a few. Unfortunately, they kind of messed up on mine. Luckily, I have two, so I'm not going to complain about it, but I am going to mention it. He comes with a neutral smiling face right out of the package and a pair of fist hands. He does come with a pair of rose holding hands, and for roses, he actually comes with two. You get a pink one and you get a red one, which the red one I remember. I don't remember using the pink one. Maybe that's just a flower. But you do just kind of slip it through the fingers right there, and it holds well enough. Not the best, but it does stay, so I'm glad that they added that. And you can actually slip it right here between the index and middle finger. I don't know why he would hold it like that, but you do have the option to do it, so that's cool. He does come with, he's supposed to come with 2 of these holding hands. I only got 1 because what they did was they actually gave me 2 right palm hands. And, well, they gave me 2 of the same right palm hands. I got 3 in total. But yeah, unfortunately, they did that. They made that mistake. It is what it is. Like I said, I got 2. He does come with 2 holding hands, although I don't necessarily know what these are for. And then he does come with 2 pair of reaching hands as well, or stylish poses. Now, in terms of face plates, you always get options with them. First off, you get an eyes closed face, which I really like this one. You do get a teeth gritted looking to the side face, as well as a yelling face, and these all look really good. My only issue is I wish that they would have kind of like narrowed the eyebrows a little bit more so he actually looks like he's angry. Doesn't really look like he's angry, but then again, Kurama kind of keeps it neutral most of the time because he always maintains his composure. But I don't know. I wish they would have narrowed the eyebrows just a tad. He also comes with a smiling look into the side face. This can be used for Kuwabara or Yusuke, because in order for it to be used for him smiling at Hiei, he'd have to be looking down. So, yeah, he does come with a briefcase, which I think this is the same one that we got with Yusuke. Kind of small, but it will fit right into his hands. And then we do also get a rose whip, which is kind of bendy, not entirely. You kind of got to finagle with it a little bit. But yeah, I'm very, very happy that they included this because this was probably the most necessary accessory. I just wish that he would have came with like a separate one for when he's just holding it and it's kind of drooping across the ground or something like that. But I do love this a lot and I'm glad that they included it. And like all Dasin model figures, he does also come with this dramatic stand that I will most definitely never use. Moving on to size comparisons, here he is standing next to an SH Figuarts Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. The one that matters the most right now, the Dasin model Yu Yu Hakusho Yusuke. I feel like they scale well enough, but I think Yusuke should be a tad bit smaller. I think he's just a little bit too tall. And then, of course, on the far right, we do have him standing next to the Figma Kimetsu no Yaiba Tanjiro Kamado, who is such a dope character, man. I love Demon Slayer. Go check it out if you're not. What are you doing? Next up here, he is standing next to what is probably my favorite action figure line so far this year. We have him standing next to all the Jujutsu Kaisen releases from SH Figuarts. We have him standing next to my boy Megami Fushiguro, Yuji Itadori, and Satoru Gojo. Once again, he's towering over all 3 of them. And Gojo's a pretty tall figure, so that should let you know this is a 7-inch scale figure. Here he is standing next to a Revoltech My Hero Academia Deku, a Figma Attack on Titan Season 1 through 3 Eren Yeager. We really need a Season 4 Eren Yeager. I need Figma to come on and get the ball rolling. And then lastly, we have him standing next to a Sentinel Peter B. Parker because we have to have a Spider-Man in every video. And then lastly, here he is standing next to some random 7-inch figures that I picked up from my local game exchange for about $6 a piece. I don't know any of these characters, but yeah. I just felt like I could throw him in here. My final thoughts on this guy, I gotta say, it's definitely not the most impressive release. It's not something that's gonna make top 10 action figures of 2022 or anything like that. This is a figure that for me, I bought strictly out of nostalgia. Yu Yu Hakusho was a major part of my childhood. It made its way back into my life as an adult. And I just absolutely love it, man. I'm fascinated by these characters. I felt like the show was very well written. I felt like the dynamic of each character was just absolutely amazing. Honestly, there's nothing that I disliked about Yu Yu Hakusho. I love it from episode 1 to the very last episode. And I love every single character. It's just one of those anime that I feel like is just... It's just such a beautiful masterpiece. Like, honestly, I really wish he would have kept it going instead of doing Hunter x Hunter, but that's another story for another day. Overall, man, the figure is cool. Once again, it's nothing that's just outstanding or mind-blowing. For me, it's just one that I have to have. And if you don't feel that way, maybe you don't like Yu Yu Hakusho as much as I do. You tripping, but I mean, that's you. Everyone has their preference. But seriously though, if you plan on getting your hands on this figure, I will leave the link in the description below. Make sure to use that code so that you get 10% off. And I have heard that they are going to be continuing the Yu Yu Hakusho line. It seems like they're really going in on the Bleach. They just dropped Aizen, I believe, and they've announced a few more characters. They just dove into the Rurouni Kenshin line a little bit more. I know they've got the One Punch Man line going, so I'm really looking forward to Hiei Kuwabara. Hopefully at some point we'll get a Yoko Kurama. I would die for that. I'd also like Jin the Windmaster. There's so many characters they could do, man. Yu Yu Hakusho, just, I really want Botan also. That would be sick if they throw her in after they finish the main four. Genkai, I could go on all day, but you guys know how it is when it comes to me and anime. I could talk. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And lastly, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.